Hi friends, good morning. Welcome to Annamaya IAS Academy. This is Dr. Harinath Reddy. Today in this particular video, we will try to discuss about asymmetrical federalism. So there was a question which has come in the public administration optional in 2022 on asymmetrical federalism. The question is something like this. The Indian federal structure is largely symmetric, albeit with some asymmetric features. Comment. So this question says that the Indian federal constitution is largely a symmetrical federalism, but you see some asymmetric features as well. So that's the meaning of the question. And then, what do you mean by symmetrical federalism? Symmetrical federalism, asymmetrical federalism, asymmetrical federalism. See, symmetrical federalism, it refers to a federal setup where the state governments, the regional governments, they enjoy equal powers. For example, take United States of America. In United States of America, there are 50 states, and in the upper house of American Parliament is bicameral. The upper house is called Senate. The lower house is called House of Representatives. In the American Senate, all the 50 states are equally represented. Each state has got 2 representatives in the American Senate. And all the states, they enjoy equal powers. So that kind of federal setup is called symmetrical federalism. So United States of America is an example for symmetrical federalism. But if you take India no doubt has got a symmetrical features. For example, if you take Article 246, the 7th schedule, it speaks about union list, state list, and also concurrent list. So on all these subjects in the union list, Parliament is supreme, the central government is supreme. On all these subjects in the state list, we have 28 states in India. All the 28 states are supreme, sovereign with respect to the subjects in the state list. We know that in the state list we had 59 items. In the union list there are 98 items. So with respect to all the 98 items, the central government and parliament are supreme. With respect to the 59 items in the state list, state legislatures and the state governments are supreme. So all the 28 states. And with respect to the subjects in the concurrent list, both parliament can make a law, state legislatures can also make a law. If there is a conflict, the central law will prevail. So broadly, as per the 7th schedule of the Indian Constitution, as per Article 246, the Constitution of India is symmetrical. All the 28 states, they enjoy equal powers with respect to all the 59 items in the state list. But the Constitution of India also contains asymmetry. It also contains asymmetry. Then what do you mean by asymmetry? So as I said earlier, symmetrical federalism refers to all the regional governments having the equal powers. On the contrary, asymmetrical federalism refers to all the regional governments of the states don't have the equal powers in certain areas. For example, in India, we have 2 kinds of asymmetry. One is a de jure asymmetry, de jure. The other one is de facto asymmetry. De jure asymmetry, de facto asymmetry. What do you mean by de jure asymmetry? If asymmetry is created by the constitution itself, then that is called a de jure asymmetry. Then what is a de facto asymmetry? So de facto asymmetry refers to asymmetry created by the government through a policy, not by the constitution. To give examples for de jure asymmetry, under the Constitution of India we had Article 370 till recently, under which the state of Jammu and Kashmir was given special autonomy. Of course, the special autonomy to the state of Jammu and Kashmir was done away with in 2019 through Jammu and Kashmir Reorganization Act of 2019. But before 2019, from 1950 till 2019, Jammu and Kashmir had a special autonomy under the Constitution of India, that is Article 370. So this is an example for asymmetry created by Constitution. In addition to this, under the Constitution of India, Articles 371A to 371Z, they also provide for certain special safeguards for some of the states like Maharashtra, Gujarat, Karnataka, the backward regions, there are certain constitutional safeguards. Similarly, some of the states in Northeast India like Assam, Nagaland, Mizoram, so there the religious and the cultural practices of the people in these states was protected under Article 371. So Article 371 also represents asymmetry in the Indian Constitution, and this asymmetry is created by the provisions of the Indian Constitution. It's not only that. For example, if you take the religious and the linguistic minorities under Article 30, they have a fundamental right to establish and administer educational institutions of their choice. So for the religious and linguistic minority, it is an absolute fundamental right, which means if the Indian state tries to acquire the property of the religious and linguistic minorities, the government has to pay compensation at the market rate. If the institutions of the majority community is taken over by the state, the government did not pay compensation at the market rate. So fundamental right to property is still available for the property of the religious and linguistic minorities under Article 30. This is again an example for asymmetry. In addition to this, under the Constitution of India, to protect the interests of certain backward social groups, there was a favored treatment. For example, there is a policy of reservation for tribals, Dalits, economically weaker sections, other backward classes under the Constitution of India in government jobs and in government educational institutions. This is also an example for asymmetry. It's not only that. So you know that in India the tribal areas are the most backward areas in this country. So to protect the interests of the tribals in the tribal areas, special safeguards were given to them in the Constitution of India in the form of 5th schedule and the 6th schedule areas. You know that the 6th schedule areas are located in Northeast India in the states of Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So in the 6th schedule areas in these states, there is an administrative mechanism called autonomous district councils and autonomous regional councils. So these councils, they represent a state within a state, an imperium within an imperium. They enjoy executive powers, legislative powers, financial powers and even judicial powers. And similarly in mainland India, in the states where the tribals are present in predominant numbers, we have the provisions of the 5th schedule to protect the interests of the tribals in the mainland India. So the provisions of the 5th schedule and the 6th schedule under Article 244, they are also an example for asymmetry created by the Constitution of India. It's not only that. If you take the union territories in India, all the union territories, they are not similar. For example, if you take the union territory of Jammu and Kashmir, Puducherry and Delhi, they have got a legislative assembly and also an elected council of ministers. But other union territories, they don't have an assembly and also an elected council of ministers. And even between Puducherry and Delhi, there are differences. In Puducherry, the elected government has got control over the subjects like land, police and civil services. But in Delhi, the elected government doesn't have control over land, police and civil services. So the question is, what is the reason for providing for asymmetry in the Constitution of India? And remember, India is not the only country which has got asymmetrical federalism. Across the globe, there are other countries which also have got asymmetrical federalism. Canada is one example. Belgium is one example. Spain is one example. Germany is one example. So these countries, they are also examples for asymmetrical federalism. Then what are the reasons why the framers of the Indian Constitution provided for asymmetry in the Indian Constitution? There are valid reasons for doing that. So to protect the unity and diversity of India, to protect the interests of the religious and linguistic minorities, to protect the interests of the tribals who are the most backward, and to protect the interests of the states which are having backward regions, and to protect the interests of some of the tribes in certain states, and also to protect the interests of the most backward social groups in this country, asymmetry was inserted in the Indian Constitution. And these are the reasons. So the framers of the Indian Constitution, in their belief, they felt that by providing for asymmetry and thereby protecting the interests of the backward social groups, the religious and linguistic minorities, the interests of the states with the backward regions, we can better protect the unity and integrity of India. So there are two questions which are raised. Does asymmetry favor stability or instability? So there is one school of thought which says that asymmetry will provide instability. And some others argue that asymmetry favors stability. If you take the context of India, the asymmetry which is provided for in the Indian Constitution, this is to accommodate diversity and thereby meeting the aspirations of the people who are backward and meeting the aspirations of the states which are backward, thereby protecting the unity and integrity of India. So that's it about the question. So Indian constitution is basically a symmetrical federalism with albeit asymmetrical features. And the reasons why asymmetrical features were inserted in the Indian constitution is to accommodate diversity. So in a country like India, which is having a lot of diversity in terms of language, in terms of religions, in terms of ethnicity, asymmetry is necessary to protect the interests of different groups and thereby satisfying them and thereby protecting the unity and integrity of India. So that's it about asymmetrical federalism. Thank you, and we will come up with one more video in the next class. Thank you.